There you go. There you go. Nice, nice fish. All right, hey there guys, this is day 2 of fishing right here for the 4th of July. I am back here today with Kenny.
Hello.
On day 1, we used red, we used white, and we used this bluegill for blue. But I decided, you know what, we needed an actual blue topwater, so we went ahead and we got this blue blood whopper plopper. We caught him on the size 90. We caught him on the size 75. And right now, we're gonna try size 110 with this blue blood, see if Kenny can get a topwater bite. We are fishing again on a similar river system, and we're gonna see if we can catch a few fish. Today, we're gonna be doing something fun. We're gonna be doing a couple of questions here for Kenny about serving in the armed forces, and we're gonna catch some fish, and hopefully we're gonna have a good time.
Absolutely.
So one thing that's important to note here in this video is you might think that I'm being a little controlling in my directions for Kenny. I'm a little specific when I say cast, you know, 10 feet to the left or 20 feet in front of the boat. It's not that I'm being so specific, but it's actually that Kenny is an amazing caster. He has an amazing ability to cast. He just doesn't see very well. Kenny is legally blind, but that doesn't slow him down when it comes to fishing. You give him an idea of where to cast and he nails it. As you guys can see in this video, I tell him very specifically where to cast, and bam, he hits a fish like nothing. All right, I think you had a fish follow. I want you to do that again. You can get that 10 more feet in there. Perfect. There we go, there you go. Keep reeling, got a fish on it. There you go, there you go. Nice, nice fish, nice fish.
Is he gone?
Nope, he's on, he's down. Keep going, keep going. Nice fish. There you go. There you go, Kenny.
Come here.
The funny thing, this isn't even the fish that I saw following. Okay,
No.
bring it off to the left over here. There you go.
What is it?
That's a pike. Yep.
Yep. I think I need to try some different lure because this is...
Yeah, buddy.
There we go. So, got a rock bass and a pike.
All right, guys. So happy 4th of July to all of you. Super happy 4th of July to veterans and families of veterans. Got Kenny right here. We're going to be asking Kenny a few questions about his time in the service. So we're going to get started right here, right now. I guess to start off, what branch of the military were you in?
U.S. Navy.
The U.S. Navy. Where did you then serve when you were in the Navy? Were you in a base? Were you on a ship? How'd that work?
Well, started out in Great Lakes for boot camp. Then went to Memphis, Tennessee for a school to learn how to be a jet engine mechanic. Then went down to Pensacola, Florida. And from there I went to Sicily. Spent 3 years over in Sicily. Went back to Pensacola. Spent another two and a half years down there. Went back to Sicily again. And after finishing up over there, doing 7 years in Sicily, we went to Pax River, Maryland. Spent 4 years there. And then I went down to Norfolk and got on board the USS America for Desert Shield, Desert Storm.
Oh, wow. So how many years total would that be that you were with the Navy?
I was with the Navy 19 years and 9 months.
When you were on the boats,
Okay.
Going around Sicily or in Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Where did you ever have any chances to fish or anything like this? It's kind of a silly question, but did you ever have chances to do angling in different places?
I didn't, but we did pull into port in Athens, Greece, and guys that brought fishing poles did go up and they'd drop a line and try and fish off the side of the boat. It was only about maybe 20, 30 feet up that they were, so if they did catch something, they had a long ways to hoist him up, but they still did it.
Can you tell us, when did you decide to join the armed forces? When did you decide to join the Navy?
I originally joined in '73 in October, and after graduating in June. So it was like 3 months after high school, and I joined the Navy. Was tired of school, didn't want to go back to college, so I joined the Navy and made that a career instead.
All right. What does the 4th of July mean to you? You know, not just as a Navy veteran, but just as a, just as an American. What does the 4th of July mean to you?
Freedom.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it was all about. It was, serving in the military is to continue fighting for our freedom wherever it may be, and so we get to celebrate that on the 4th of July.
All right. So Kenny, I'd kind of like you to tell me a little bit about your experiences in the Navy. What could you tell us, the viewers here? What life-changing moments did you have? What made you into the person that you are today?
Well, just meeting so many different people. I mean, we moved around every 3 years or thereabouts. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. But you meet so many different people. We met some people that we made friends with, that we're still friends with today, 20 years after being out of the service, Some of the things that I remember the most is when we were going to Desert Shield, Desert Storm, we had to go through the canal over there, the Suez Canal. But traveling through that, it's on a big ship like that, we had to park out front in the bay, and there was a waiting line to get through it. So you had to wait in line, and when your turn came, then you floated down through that. And I remember this one night we were going down through it, and along the beach there was a Jeep that was following us, and he had a machine gun on. Well, that makes the boat very nervous because we have no capabilities of launching planes or anything like that, but it is equipped with its own firepower, so we had guns aimed at it, but it was just a nerve-wracking experience because you got machine guns pointing at you going real slow. But then all of a sudden we popped out down the canal a little bit farther, and it breaks into this beautiful little city that was palm trees and green grass and buildings, and I mean the rest of the time it's all desert. We had sandstorms coming at us the whole time, and then we come up to this pretty little city that's out in the middle of nowhere, and then we break out and we go do our thing. But the people is what it's mainly all about. I had one guy that I dealt with when I was younger, first joined in. I was maybe in 6 years or so, and we had a thing called duty section muster where the younger guys would all muster up and they'd have duty that day, so they had to do the cleaning thing, sweep the floors, dump trash, that kind of thing. Well, a young gentleman came to muster one day, and he had been drinking, so he'd had too much to drink and he was kind of stumbling around. So I told him I wouldn't write him up. I said, go back to the barracks, sleep it off, but don't ever show up that way again. Well, about 12, 15 years later, I'm standing in New York airport waiting to catch a connecting flight, and somebody walks up behind me and taps me on the shoulder, and it was that young kid. And I'm like, I didn't recognize him at first, but he knew who I was. And so he introduced himself, and I said, oh yeah, I do remember that. I said, how would we ever run into one another here in New York City in an airport? It was beyond me. But that's the kind of people you meet. You just meet people, you make an impression on them, and you keep on going.
All right, Kenny, so to end this really cool interview here, we're going to ask you a question on fishing. Doesn't have to be with the Navy, doesn't have to be with 4th of July related, but what is your favorite memory when it comes to angling? Maybe as a kid or as an adult? What do you want to tell the subscribers?
I think it's been the last couple of weeks. We've been out 3 or 4 times and caught fish every time, so I'm looking forward to finding some today. But we went to a lake and we caught 12 largemouth in just a couple hours, and then we went to a dam and we caught some smallmouth there in just a few minutes, and then the other day when we were at that other dam, we caught that 20-incher, and man, that was a nice fish. I mean, it was just one of the biggest fish I've ever caught. And so it's been a lot of fun up here, and plus the scenery up here in the UP is just fantastic. Just makes you want to be out here all the time. It's so quiet and peaceful out in the middle of nowhere, especially where this guy takes you. I mean, it's just floating down rivers and streams where not many other people go, so you don't ever see anybody else. And so neither do the fish, so they love to bite.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kenny. All right, tell us how big that fish is, Kenny.
20-incher.
20-inch fish on the dot. This is a wrap for this video. We just got our second day of fishing done. It was more about the second evening of fishing, because really we were only out here for a couple of hours. Kenny picked up 3 smallmouth, 2 pike. I think I picked up 1 smallmouth and 1 rock bass. So the fishing wasn't as hot as it could have been, but you know what, the scenery was great, and kind of checking out a new location tonight, so I'm sure we'll figure it out and dial in that fishing. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I post it on July 4th, so if that's the case, happy 4th of July. Go watch some fireworks. I will see you guys in the next one. This is Haight's Wanderings. As always, catch, release, wander.